Welcome to our presentation of the Educatioo Teaching and Assessment app. This app uses dialogue simulation to really teach your students. In this 10-minute video, we will show you how you can remotely teach your students through dialogue simulation with the Educatioo Teaching and Assessment app. The Educatioo Dialog Simulation app helps you to really teach your students in these difficult times. We will show you why in every type of school, teachers should be able to use Educatioo. In the end, you can either talk to us directly or email your questions to support@educatioo.com. In this short video, you are going to meet Ricky Phillips, our student, and John Sims, our teacher. You will see both sides, the student's view and the teacher's view. This way you are able to see how dialogue simulation works out and why every teacher should work with the Educatioo Teaching and Assessment app. Ricky is 15, loves to talk to her girlfriends, and is a little bit a TikTok addict. She has difficulties remembering how to use the right order in calculations. Her teacher offers her a course she can take at home to help her on this subject.
The object of today's lesson is understanding in which order calculation operations should be done. At the end of today's lesson, we will test how good you are at applying what you've learned today. Lots of success. John Sims.
3 plus 4 is 7, and this times 5 is 35. 6 plus 6 is 12, and this divided by 2 is 6. 8 plus 4 is 12, and this times 2 is 24.
This is John Sims. John is 43, married to Rose, and they have 2 sons and a little baby daughter. In his spare time, he loves to watch soccer games of his sons and is busy creating courses for his students. You just watched Ricky doing the first 3 questions of the course to improve her calculating skills. Do you remember how the first question looked like? Teacher John created this course and selected the 23 as the correct answer for the first question, but Ricky answered 35. The second question, John selected 9 as the correct answer, but Ricky answered 6, and for the third question, John selected 16 as the correct answer, and Ricky chose 24. All 3 answers Ricky gave were wrong. Ask yourself, what would have happened in class if Ricky answered these questions as she did? Would you, as a teacher, not have corrected her after the first question? Or would you have asked Ricky the second and third question, without giving her feedback and keeping her in the dark? Would you just continue to the next subject? I think you would have corrected her after the first wrong answer, and would have explained that she missed the order of operations. Following your explanation, you would have asked her another question to verify if she understood what you were trying to teach her. Right? Why didn't the software correct her first wrong answer? I will answer this for you, because all existing remote teaching apps and software do not have the ability to do so. You can ask Ricky questions in all sorts, multiple choice, true or false, open questions, and so on. You can give feedback in the end, but you cannot get into dialogue with Ricky when she selects the wrong answer. Is there no solution then? What if Educatioo gave you the opportunity to help Ricky when she would answer incorrectly? Not after she finishes her course, but straight away. What if you could foresee her problems or mistakes? If this was possible, Ricky would go from answering questions to really learning, don't you think? Would you not be of more value to Ricky if you could help her in this way? First of all, you need to know, did she answer correct or not? Then you will have to get into Ricky's head. Which mistakes could she possibly make? Where could a problem arise? After you have identified her mistake or problem, you will have to write an explanation for each answer she could possibly give to get Ricky back on track. Then the big question, where should you put your explanation? Because in all other remote teaching software like Moodle or Socrative, this is not possible. You only can give feedback. How can Ricky get access to your unique explanation? And how would you know what explanation she needs? Do you remember how the first question looked like for our teacher John? He selected 23 as the correct answer. But here is the big difference with all other remote teaching software. John has the ability to redirect each answer separately to a different next question. So not every answer, right or wrong, leads to the same next question. John, as a teacher, has the ability to point the right answer to the next question. In this case, the correct answer would lead to question number 2. Ricky is not aware of John's possibilities to redirect every answer she gives separately. As you remember, Ricky made a mistake at the first question. Instead of the correct answer 23, Ricky answered 35. John anticipated on Ricky making this mistake and redirects her answer to a separate question.
You did it almost right. You answered on 3 plus 4 times 5 is equal to 35, because you did first 3 plus 4 is equal to 7, and then multiplied your answer times 5. So in the end you got your answer. 35. In fact, you should have multiplied first because in the calculation order, multiplying comes before adding up. So the answer should have been 4 times 5, multiplying first, equals 20, and then adding up 3 is equal to 23. Let's try again, shall we?
Ricky is not aware she has been redirected and reads the explanation. Because she still not understands what she did wrong, she makes the same mistake again. Instead of multiplying first, she adds up. 5 plus 5 makes 10, and this times 2 makes 20. So she clicks on 20 as her answer instead of the right answer 15. Although John hoped that Ricky would give the correct answer, he also anticipated that she might not get it with one correction. Where the correct answer would lead her back on track to question number 2, he was also prepared for her wrong answer by leading her to yet another explanation.
You know, every time you see a question like 5 plus 5 times 2 equals, you should immediately notice 2 types of operations: adding up and multiplying. In calculations, we agreed on a specific order to perform this operations. We always multiply before adding up. So in this case we calculate 5 times 2 before we do 5 plus 5. So 5 times 2 is 10, and then adding up 10 plus 5 is equal to 15. Let's try again, and please pay attention to which calculation you should start with.
This time Ricky got it. She multiplied 6 times 2 to get 12. And then added 4, so in the end she clicked on 16 as the correct answer. You guessed it, now she was taken back to the right track, question number 2. Do you remember how question number 1 looked for Ricky? I think you do. But have a look at how this question looked for the teacher. And what he wrote behind each different answer. The correct answer was 23, and this answer would have led Ricky straight to question number 2. But Ricky did not understand the order of calculation straight away. So she got the extra explanation John prepared for her. And even after she did not get it after the first explanation, there was a second. The Educatioo teaching app allows you to make up to 6 levels of further explanation. So, you have sufficient possibilities to explain every problem. The wrong answer was 35, we know how that worked out. We also know where the correct answer 23 leads us. Let us now look where we had gone if Ricky had chosen 12.
You did it almost right. You answered 3 plus 4 times 5 is equal to 12. Did you notice it was not 3 plus 4 plus 5 is equal to 12, but between the 4 and 5 was an X for multiplying? I know, you read wrongly. I presume you now see that it had to be another outcome, namely first the multiplying 4 times 5 gives 20, and then adding up 3 to come to 23. You see now your mistake? So, I have another one for you to solve. Please read carefully now, and let's try again.
In this example you can see teacher John wrote a complete different explanation for Ricky. The answer she gave showed Ricky misread. He still does not know if she understands the order in which calculations should be done. So he explains what she did wrong and presents her the same problem again. In this way he can lead her back on track to question number 2. You can also see John has prepared more questions in case she does not understand the order of operations. But luckily she does understand the order of operations when calculating, so she goes straight to question number 2. What just happened? You've just seen several individual learning paths created with the Educatioo Dialog Simulation App. The first path you saw was that if a clever Ricky would have answered correctly immediately, she could have gone to question number 2 straight away. The second path showed a Ricky who did not understand the order of calculation. She learned how to correct this, and John checked if she understood it with a new question. John also corrected the Ricky who was either too quick with her answer or read badly, and gave her another opportunity to show she does understand the order of calculations. Can you imagine? Do you know how many different individual learning paths you can create in this way? 1. If you take 5 questions, and each question has 4 possible answers. 2. Following each question there are 4 ways of correcting your student and bringing him to the right path. 3. Gave every correction also 4 possible answers. The total amount of individual learning paths you could create in this ways are over 5,000 different individual learning paths. Which way your student goes, which answers he gives, you can always lead him back on track. With the Educatioo teaching app you can easily correct every mistake. Within 30 minutes you can create a course to really help, to really teach your student. If you are restricted or want to teach from behind your laptop, the existing apps and software is not enough. Simply because you can't interact with your student when he or she gives the wrong answer. If you really want to help your student on an individual base, you need dialogue simulation in Educatioo. The Educatioo Teaching and Assessment app is a tool especially designed for remote teaching on all types of schools. If you want more information about the Educatioo Teaching and Assessment app, feel free to ask us. Or send an email to support@educatioo.com. The Educatioo app is available in the beginning of April 2021. We have special prices for schools who want more than 6 accounts.